Hey, Alex. Thanks for meeting with me today. I heard you're really serious about improving your English speaking skills. That's fantastic. So tell me, what's been your biggest challenge with speaking English? Hi, Sam. Yes, I really want to get better. My biggest problem is that I understand English when I read or listen, but when I try to speak, the words just don't come out naturally. I freeze up, especially when I'm talking to native speakers. That's actually one of the most common challenges I hear about. And you know what? It's completely normal. Your brain is doing something really interesting here. You see, reading and listening are receptive skills, but speaking is a productive skill. It requires your brain to work in a completely different way. Can you tell me more about when you feel most uncomfortable speaking? Well, mostly in spontaneous conversations. Like if someone asks me an unexpected question, I panic. I start translating from my native language in my head, and by the time I figure out what to say, the moment has passed. It's really frustrating. The translation trap. This is such an important issue to address. Let me ask you something. When you think in your native language, do you translate those thoughts from another language first? No, of course not. I just think naturally. Exactly. And that's what we need to help your brain do with English. The translation process is actually slowing you down and making speaking feel unnatural. But here's the good news. This is completely fixable with the right approach and practice. Are you ready to learn some practical strategies? Absolutely. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. Great attitude. Let's start with the foundation. The first thing I want you to understand is that fluency isn't about perfection. It's about confidence and the ability to communicate your ideas, even if you make mistakes. Native speakers make mistakes all the time, too. Have you noticed that? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. I've heard native speakers correct themselves or say and a lot. Exactly right. So let's remove that pressure of perfection from your shoulders. Now, let me share with you the first major strategy. Think in English. I know it sounds simple, but it's transformative. How do you currently practice your English? I usually study grammar books, do some exercises online, and watch English movies with subtitles. Sometimes I try to repeat what the actors say. Those are all good activities, but let me introduce you to something more powerful. Starting today, I want you to narrate your daily life in English, in your head. When you wake up, think, I'm waking up now. I need to brush my teeth. What should I eat for breakfast? Do this throughout your day. What do you think about this approach? That's interesting, but won't it be slow at first? What if I don't know the words? Brilliant question. Yes, it will be slower initially, and yes, you'll encounter words you don't know. But here's what you do. When you don't know a word, describe it in English using words you do know. For example, if you don't know the word refrigerator, you might think, the big box in the kitchen where I keep food cold. This actually builds your descriptive skills and helps you think flexibly in English. Oh, I never thought about it that way. That makes sense. It's like working around the problem instead of stopping completely. Exactly, you're getting it. This is called circumlocution, talking around a word you don't know. It's an essential skill for fluent speakers. Even native speakers use this when they can't remember a specific word. Now, let's talk about the second major strategy, speaking practice with yourself. Do you ever talk to yourself? Sometimes in my native language, yes, but talking to myself in English, that feels a bit strange. I understand it might feel odd at first, but it's incredibly effective. Here's why. When you speak to yourself, there's zero pressure. No one is judging you, no one is waiting for your response, and you can make all the mistakes you want. You can practice different scenarios, different conversations, and experiment with new vocabulary and expressions. What topics are you interested in? I love technology, cooking, and travel. Oh, and I'm really into photography too. Perfect. So here's what you can do. Let's say you're interested in technology. Pretend you're explaining to a friend why you love your smartphone, or imagine you're teaching someone how to cook your favorite dish. Describe the steps out loud in English. For photography, describe a photo you took, what you see, how you felt, why you chose that angle. Can you try describing something right now? Tell me about a photo you recently took. Okay, let me try. Last week, I took a photo of the sunset at the beach. The sky was, it had many colors, orange, pink, and purple. The sun was going down into the ocean, and there were some clouds that looked like, how do you say, like cotton. That was excellent, Alex. Do you see what just happened? You described something beautiful, and I understood everything you said. Yes, you paused a few times, but you communicated effectively, and you even used circumlocution when you said going down into the ocean instead of setting. That's perfect. How did that feel? It felt okay, actually. I was nervous, but I managed to say what I wanted to say. Maybe not perfectly, but you communicated. That's what matters. Now, one thing I noticed, you said it had many colors instead of it was filled with colors or the sky displayed many colors. All three are correct, but as you practice more, you'll develop more varied ways to express the same idea. This brings me to the third strategy, active vocabulary building. How do you currently learn new words? I write them down in a notebook with their meanings, and I try to memorize them. That's a start, but let me show you a more effective approach. Instead of just memorizing definitions, I want you to create example sentences with each new word, sentences about your life, your experiences. For instance, if you learn the word exhausted, don't just write exhausted means very tired. Instead, write I felt exhausted after working for 12 hours yesterday. See the difference? Yes, the second one is more personal and specific. I think I would remember it better because it's connected to my real experience. Exactly. Your brain remembers things better when they're connected to emotions and personal experiences. Also, try to learn words in phrases and collocations, not just individually. For example, don't just learn decision, learn make a decision, tough decision, reach a decision. English speakers use these word combinations naturally. Does this make sense to you? Yes, it does. So I should be learning how words work together, not just individual words. That's actually more like how we speak naturally. You've got it. Now let's talk about something crucial, listening practice. But not just any listening practice. I want you to do active listening with a specific technique. Do you know what shadowing is? Shadowing? No, I don't think so. What is that? Shadowing is when you listen to English audio, it could be a podcast, a YouTube video, or an audiobook, and you repeat what you hear almost simultaneously, like an echo. You try to match the speaker's rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation. It trains your mouth muscles and your brain to produce English sounds naturally. Have you noticed that English has a different rhythm than your native language? Yes, English seems to have ups and downs like music. In my language, it's more flat, more monotone. Great observation. English is indeed a stress-timed language, which means we stress certain syllables and words while others are reduced. When you practice shadowing, you internalize these patterns naturally. You don't have to think about the rules. Your mouth just learns to move in the right way. Would you like to try a quick shadowing exercise right now? Sure, I'm a bit nervous, but let's try it. Don't worry, there's no right or wrong here. I'll say a sentence and you repeat it right after me, trying to match my intonation. Ready? I absolutely love learning new languages because it opens up a whole new world. I absolutely love learning new languages because it opens up a whole new world. That was good. Now let's try it again, and this time I want you to really exaggerate the stress on certain words. Listen, I absolutely love learning new languages because it opens up a whole new world. I absolutely love learning new languages because it opens up a whole new world. Excellent. Did you feel how emphasizing those words gave the sentence more energy and emotion? That's what native speakers do naturally. Now, the fourth major strategy I want to share with you is about overcoming the fear of making mistakes. Tell me honestly, how do you feel when you make a mistake while speaking English? I feel embarrassed, honestly. I feel like people are judging me, thinking I'm stupid or that my English is bad.